Yeah, this is going to be a horrible episode for Samantha.
I'm not the hardest to date.
No, because I make it really easy for you to excuse all my behavior through my slick talk gaslighting. All right, Max. No. Avery, Max, Josh, Jeffrey.
The people Max hates most.
Max is number two.
That's funny. All right, Avery, Max, Josh, Jeffrey. The best in a relationship, who would be best? Not saying who does this, but who would be most talented at turning their partner's valid complaints back on them in a manipulative way?
Yeah, I rock at that. That would be totally me. Yeah.
I think Josh would be good at it, but would not have the. I don't think he'd care. You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, no, like you think this, I think that, you know?
It's crazy that you said me. When have you ever seen me do that?
Uh, you would, and you'd be good at it. You just did it to me.
Oh.
And I didn't even notice. You got me. Manipulative. Jeffrey would not be good at it, which is why he's up on highest of my easiest to date. Weird that Josh is third, but still my fourth on the date list.
It's because the whole reason you gave me fourth on the date list is because you are conflating safety and security with unhappiness. Like the drawback of dating you is that you might try meth. The drawback of dating me is that in your brain, the worst case scenario is that I'm like, Max, put on a seatbelt. And then you immediately take the seatbelt off and you grab the steering wheel and you crash our car. It's just your OCD.
All right, but would you rather do meth once? Okay, I have a legitimate answer to this.
Okay.
I have a legitimate answer to this, and it's the exact opposite answer of you. Would you rather do meth once or have to always abide by the speed limit? And this is not a Max McCune bit. If you put a gun in my head right now and went, you can try one bump of meth or you can never go above the speed limit unless it's an emergency, I would do the meth.
Question.
Yeah.
You're trying it once. It's
I
like
won't get addicted. I'm too strong. Uh, I got my caffeine. I don't need anything else.
That's
And I'm my screen time.
I'm not like the best driver in the world, so it might be a good thing for me to only physically be able to go at the speed limit.
But
You
you
just
would
asked a very Max question. I'm about to ask a very Josh qualifying question. Does this also come into play I assume it does, in the case of an emergency situation?
No. You can, if anyone was ever dying or you needed to escape somewhere or you needed to protect yourself or anyone else, you could go as fast as you wanted.
Oh, then sweet. Yeah, I'm not smoking meth. No, I'm just gonna go the speed limit. I drive under the speed limit.
I know. That's why it came to my head when you equated safety with unhappiness. You said you equated safety and security with unhappiness the way a la Max, and instantly I was transported to being in the back of your car. And I went, we're going so slow. Those roads are dangerous though. You should go slower. I should go slower. I should go slower, and I should do 10 and 2 a little more because I really like I'm not good at clocks. I really like a little 7 o'clock hold with one hand. You know what I'm saying? And that's not great. I should do 10 and 2.
I'm not good at clocks, Max McCune. That's a solid quote.
I'm good at clocks. I'm not good at like whenever I'm watching a movie and they're like, fucking, he's at your 10. I'd be like, that doesn't mean shit. Who? Me. Fucking say he's over there and I'll shoot him for you. This is too much. Too much today. Fucking, I shouldn't be allowed
Oh,
to.
why are you feeling self-conscious? Did we
Don't.
say something?
No,
I do hear Rue snoring now.
she's snoring a lot.
Because I keep thinking it's like you taking like asthmatic breaths, but
That is what my asthma sounds. You guys have never seen me have like a bad asthma attack. I've had some bad asthma attacks.
If we were to like hold you down and tickle you, would you have an asthma attack?
Possibly, since I got into better shape and grew up a little bit, I grew out of it. Well, I was a pussy, but well, no, since I got like just better at breathing in general, and as I grew older, my asthma got less bad. Physical exertion does not do it to the same level, but you put me in a room with a cat for too long, like a bad one. Like, remember I brought my inhaler to your place and told Jeffrey where it was in case he had to save me?
Yeah.
Okay, Max, Josh, Avery, Jeffrey. And I could be wrong about this.
Max, Josh, Avery, Jeffrey.
Also, hold on. Sorry. I want to clarify real quick. Max, you did not bring your inhaler to Josh's place. I happened to have an
Ah,
inhaler with me, and
yeah.
you used mine. You
That's why
went
I
to
was
Josh's house knowing he had a cat, knowing that cats could sometimes give you asthma attacks, and you said, no need. No need for the inhaler. And then I just happened to have one on me.
See, the problem with me is that, and I say this with a lot of criticism and also like there's a it shouldn't work out. Like you shouldn't have had an inhaler. Like I shouldn't have got that safety net without any preparation on my side, and I shouldn't have had that luck that I flew across the country to a and the only place I could sleep was a place with a cat, and I was allergic. And the two things that happened were I wasn't that allergic to Josh's apartment. Thank you for cleaning, but some people clean. I'm really allergic to the apartment, but I wasn't that allergic to Josh's apartment, and you had an inhaler just in case. So then in my head, I'm like, well, it'll be fine next time, and I got to stop doing that. I'm better than I was in college. I played up for the podcast. I'm very safe. I'm very safe, guys.
I don't know about very safe. I
Yeah,
think you're
very
safer, but I think very safe feels pretty strong.
Darkest hair was your list. Me,
No.
Josh, Avery, Jeff.
That's a good list, though.
It is. Jeffrey, didn't you go to Los Angeles and not bring underwear?
Or a toothbrush.
Hold on.
I'm not saying
Okay,
they're the same.
hold
I'm just
on. First off, it was an electric toothbrush, and I thought no point, and I was planning to buy one there anyway.
right.
So
What what's this list?
Uh, worst to best at breathing.
Me, Josh, Avery, Jeffrey.
Yeah,
Jeffrey's best at breathing.
I could be
yeah,
wrong.
listen to this.
Jeffrey literally had like an incurable sinus infection and respiratory infection for like 4 months because of just mold in his clothes that he just left around his room.
No, it was not that. It was not that.
It
Just
was
from
totally
mildew.
that.
It was not that.
Also,
What
here's the
was
real
it?
story. He came to LA with an electric toothbrush with the bristles, which is pretty much like flat and gone. And then we were both going to brush our teeth at night. And then I was like, Jeffrey, have you ever changed the head of that toothbrush? And he was like, no. And I was like, how long have you had it? And he was like, 5 years. And I was like, okay.
I
So then he proceeds to put toothpaste on it and start brushing his teeth without turning it on. And I said, Jeffrey, have you ever charged your $100+ electric toothbrush? And he
They're
said,
not $100+.
yeah, one time in 5 years. And so he's just using this like half-pound $100 electric toothbrush like a just like a dollar store toothbrush that he just never replaced. So we went out and we bought a toothbrush.
Jeffrey
And
came
I
to my
actually quite
place.
enjoyed having a day with my friend, but it's interesting what he liked about it.
Josh, who a straight month living with me or Jeffrey. And Jeffrey, we're not like totally sustained by you. Like you are completely within your rights in this apartment we share to just let us live however we'd like to live, or step in as much as you want. Who raises your blood pressure more in a month?
Can I live with Avery, please? Can it
Nope.
not be one of you two?
Wasn't
Can I
the
just live
question.
with Avery?
I hate to say it.
Dog, that hurts my feelings, actually.
No, which
Okay.
one? Which one?
I think we should all order this list. Josh is. You have to answer. Jeffrey,
I
and
have
we
a
should all answer this. This is a fun
I
one.
have a justification for myself not being as stressful that I want to give Josh, but I want to hear his answer.
I think that my answer is going to be Max raises it most, Jeffrey next. And I'm basing that off of the fact that Jeffrey and I have already kind of worked through like common law marriage issues by spending a lot of time together, like bunking in the same place. So we kind of know what gets on each other's nerves. Like I can't touch his game when he's on the floor playing buttons and bugs.
Can't touch that game, brother.
Otherwise, he freaks out and scratches me. And he and he can't
I can't fiddle with Josh's shorts when he sleeps.
yeah.
He does not like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually got rid of my justification. My justification for being less stressful is that I would get annoyed trying, like, I wouldn't want you to be responsible for me that much in the way that Jeffrey lets you be sometimes. So I would try to, I would try, I would try to live in a way that was more independent of you. But now I'm realizing I actually think that would make me a little more stressful because if we're in the same environment, I'd be like trying to do things my way, but that still be in your space. Where I actually think Jeffrey would kind of adapt to your schedule and what you like. He takes a lot of your advice and lets you take care of him a little bit and doesn't really put up a fight. But then is also, but also lays the ground rules about his game and stuff, things that are important to him. I just
Describing a 7-year-old.
This is crazy.
Are we gonna act like Josh doesn't fucking drive over to Jeffrey's when they live in the same city and make sure he eats twice a day?
I drove to Josh every time we hung out. That's crazy.
That's
Okay,
true.
That's
It was
crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. You would seek it out a little bit, and I would probably be like a little more resistant. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that's not true. I'm not
Actually,
calling you a pussy. I'm saying you're more adaptable than I am.
I think that's 100% true.
Fine.
I would live with Jeffrey and Max in the if flipping it around, turning tables. I would live with either of them in the exact same way, and it would be like a Navy SEAL. I would sleep on the floor. I would get in at 10 p.m. You wouldn't know where I was for the day. I would sleep until 6 a.m. I would get up. I would do push-ups, and then I would gather up my wool blanket, and you wouldn't see me. I'd be in my car, and I'd be gone. You'd wonder how ground beef and Greek yogurt got in the fridge. You wouldn't know. You'd wonder how. And I would be in and out like a bandit.
Except for Sunday dinners. Except for
For
family
Sunday
dinners.
dinners where
I'd
we
be there for Sunday dinners.
Yeah.
You know what though? I'm not a huge homebody. I'd be like Josh. You can fucking just keep it clean, man. I like. Just kidding. Me telling
Josh, would you contribute to toenail room?
What's toenail room?
The room where you cut your toenails in? That's a button, dog. That's a button. That rocked. That was so fucking funny. People loved that shit.
I think you're dead wrong when you say that I would be the hardest to date for you or that I would be the hardest to live with, because if you lived with me, you would never go hungry. Everything would be clean at all times.
He wouldn't let you. He wouldn't let you feed him.
I wouldn't. I compulsively feed people. You would be.
No, I know, but that's what would stress me out. Being taken care of would stress me out. The place being really clean would stress me out. It's I want clean, but I don't want the other person keeping it clean all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Should we just clip this and send it to your therapist and say, like,
I don't have a therapist.
should we just save it? Can we just log it and then say, like, here's a lot of the work?
Oh, and then you can send it later.
If you clean in front of me, it feels like you're looking at me and going, "You're a bad person because you didn't do this."
So is all of this, is you not liking the thought of dating me or being a roommate with me? Are you just imposing what you deem as like is it just
You know what it actually is? There's nothing I like less in the world than thinking about money or cleaning or tasks or the maintenance of daily life. It makes me feel like I'm suffocating to think about it. You bring that to the forefront in a living situation because you think and present and talk about it. And so it's not that I don't like how you live, it's that I don't want to think about the things that you are actively partaking in that I try to ignore the fact that those exist in the world as much as I can while also partaking in them.
That's pretty
so
succinct. That's pretty succinct.
yeah, kill shot, loading it in. So you hate me because you can't stop thinking about me. How can you say that you would never date me
I
when you
didn't
love
say
me?
I'd never date you. I'd say you'd be the hardest to date if you've looked at anything in the world. A lot of people date who it's the hardest for them to date.
Out of us, who would you date? Out of us, who would you date? And if you don't say me, I'm never gonna forgive you.
I wouldn't date you. I know that I would find you stressful. I know that if we went on a date, well, maybe I'd feel really taken care of. Wait, I gotta reorient. I gotta reorient.
Can I make in just a give my thoughts on who Max would date and what the dynamics would be?
Yeah.
Max dating Jeffrey would
Jeffrey.
would be like two young boys always trying to see who could irritate the other, but there's a lot of love there. I think that's where the most love would be is between Max and Jeffrey.
It would be like we're always trying to compete to see who can kiss the hardest.
Yep. I think Max dating me would be like a old Catholic couple that doesn't believe in divorce but refuses to talk to one another.
I think
And
we'd
every
be
once in a while we're like, okay, like we can sit and we can like have a conversation, but
we'd be great buds who go like on nice dinners and then like have our separate friends and our separate lives and probably separate bedrooms, but like can then really hang out, you know?
yeah, or but us be actually dating would end in like true silent treatment level of like toxic whatever.
I would cheat on you.
Thanks, Max. That's
Hell yeah, dude.
that's the fucking button. I don't care.
I'd cheat on all with the
Yeah,
other three. With the other
thank
two.
you. I would cheat on you too, Max. Don't worry.
I would only cheat if I'd give you permission. I'd be like, you need it from somewhere else.
Okay, great, thanks. Max, why are you fixated on this? Max dating Josh would be like it would develop to the point of like a psycho situation. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Max at some point would tear the shower curtain back while Josh is in the shower and try and kill him. And Josh would overmother Max.
Listen,
I
I I'm sorry, I need to jump in for a second. I'm not gonna overmother. I'm gonna overfather. I think Max, I think you'd come around to really enjoying having a daddy. And it just makes me sad that you can't love me because loving me makes you hate you.
pretty beautiful.
Oof.
I love you a lot, Josh, and
Then why won't you date me?
I think also when I said I'd cheat on Avery, I meant I'd cheat on all of you because none of us should be romantic partners, and we should all just have that arrangement.
No, he didn't. It's because
You
I'm a woman and he doesn't value.
you've been qualifying that many times.
Well, I feel weird that the only cheating thing I brought up was with Avery, but it was the first one I was actually picturing like us in a house together because me and Jeffrey, that's obviously a joke, and we live in a pigsty, and then we fucking live in the barn outside. And then I was like, oh fuck, like now I have to be a real like with Avery, I'm like, oh fuck, how would I be like a partner? With Jeffrey, I'm like, we're fucking like, let's go see who can get the most people mad at us at Target. Like that fucking uh
That'd be pretty
I
good.
mean, the most love would be between Max and Jeffrey.
actually Jeffrey would stress me out in a different way than Josh, in that I'm non-confrontational in those weird public ways, and if he did one of those things at Target, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Stop, fucking get out of here. Um,
Feels kind of harsh for a partner.
This is
Okay.
gonna piss. I don't know if this is gonna piss off Josh or not, but I think I'd be the most productive in a relationship with Jeffrey because I would be forced to be like, I feel like if I'm not productive, we might not get stuff done. Not that Jeffrey's not productive, but he's not going to push me, and it'd be very easy for me and Jeffrey to just like watch TV all day and hang out without like either of us really making the other person do something. So I think it'd be on my mind. I think Avery would be a middle ground. I think I'd be a little like, okay, fucking leave me alone because I don't agree with your version of success. You fucking
Yeah, because I'm talking to you all the
and
time.
then
Yeah,
or
that high woman voice
honestly,
of hers.
with
Oh,
Avery, honestly, with Avery, I'd probably be like, please talk to me. Please stop ignoring me. And then Josh, I think, would actually be trying to make me be better. And this is totally on me. Josh wouldn't even be being mean about it. He'd be being very helpful. I would instinctively reject it and do the opposite because I can't accept it.
I think if in Max, in a similar way, slightly different, if I dated Josh, I think I would end up referring to myself as kitten within the month. Within the month, I would start voluntarily putting on a leash. Josh wouldn't ask me to do it, and I'd be like, no, it's.
You know, after thinking about this, and I know I went hurt, I do think Jeffrey is the easiest to date. I think I could see
Yes,
all of
that's
us.
what I think.
Now that we've talked about this, all of us, I think, well, no, Jeffrey, you would stress me out.
I think I think it would be great if every morning when I woke up to do push-ups, Jeffrey were to in just a pink tutu, perch on my back like a cat to add weight. I think
I was
that's
just thinking. I was thinking I would sit on Josh's back, and I would kick my feet.
two. I think it's sad that all of our we all agree that our like easiest to hardest ranking is like easiest is unanimously just easiest to break. That's all we're saying. Is just like that's what we care about. Like in dating, like oh yeah,
I
easiest.
wouldn't break him. I wouldn't break him. I think we can agree if I dated Jeffrey, I wouldn't break him.
You would
I
not.
I would not. I would coexist peacefully.
Then
I
that's
I
might make
also I don't think Josh would try to break me. I would voluntarily be like, I'm never leaving the house.
yeah.
yeah. There'd be
I would be
food,
like,
there'd
Josh
be
is going to be
shelter,
my
it would be
full.
clean. Your laundry would be done. Yeah, no, it's
I would see what's being done, and I'll be like, I have to lean in. I have to lean in. I'm gonna say, Josh, I need you to go out and I need you to pick me up just a bunch of little slips.
I'm revising my original list. I think easiest to hardest to date for me, Avery, Jeffrey, Max. Because I think I did Jeffrey, Avery, Max. I think I'm Avery, Jeffrey, Max.
I think that's probably true because I think Josh and I would be fine.
I
I
think
think
we share the similar viewpoints, and I think that if I took care of Jeffrey in that way, because that's where we would end up. Is Jeffrey would just become like a Grecian lord, just eating grapes on a couch. I think that I would start to see him as more of a pet than as a partner, and he would just become like a house plant. That
Well, no, but that's why I would need to like every night be all over him sexually. I
That's
would
true.
go
That is how he would
overtime to do
reclaim
that.
his power, is by just
okay,
blowing my
but
fucking mind. I'd be out like a light every single night, just passed the fuck out.
Because I would realize like a weekend I would get so dependent on Josh that I couldn't return to the outside world. So I'd be like, this is I gotta keep this going. And so it would every night I'm like, I gotta prove myself. I gotta prove that I'm worth having around.
I
And
feel
that would be
like
healthy for us.
what you said earlier, Josh, is true. But besides breaking Jeffrey, I feel like you'd be like the easiest for me to like leave alone for periods, like long periods at a time. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by leave alone?
Like, I mean, like if I didn't, people always want you to call and text and all that stuff when you're in a relationship with them. I feel like I could leave you alone for like months at a time and come back and you'd be like hanging out on the couch, be like, hi. And then I wouldn't have to tell you where I was or what I'd been doing. And
Well,
that's, yeah.
Again, I feel like you're describing Jeffrey as a cat. I feel like
I was about to say he's like a
My
cat.
cat's been yelling. That's why I keep turning over my shoulder. Jeffrey's
it-
much easier than a cat.
yeah, Avery, I wouldn't yell.
No, I know.
I'd be lips locked.
Great. You'd just be.
I think you are all a lot more similar in different ways to cats than I am. I think I'm very clearly the dog.
Hmm. Kind
I'm
of
a
an outside dog.
outside dog. I think I'm very much a dog. I think Josh is probably second most dog, but like in a different dog than I am, you know? Um,
Josh is like the kind of like handbag dog.
Yeah, I'm a little King Charles Cocker Spaniel.
yeah.
Josh is like the dog from Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah,
Is that what that is?
that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like talking with my friends about couples, and there's always like, there's not always, but like, it's very clear if it's like a dog, cat, or dog cat couple. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm in a really like dog, me and my girlfriend, and that's why we don't really have any savings, you know? We need a cat in there, but we don't. Um, and then like Jeffrey, you're a cat, but in a different way. You're a different kind of cat for sure. Not like the aloof cat.
No.
You're a kitten.
He's a kitten.
Kitten
Jeffrey's the
says,
slut cat. The one that when people come over, they're like, wow, this cat is just a slut. It just prostrates. It just absolutely just
Yeah.
rolls over and wants to be mounted by everyone. It's been fixed, but you can't tell. You absolutely cannot.
Max, what are you looking at?
A scene from The Sopranos on YouTube Shorts.
Gotta tell
I'm
you.
almost done with The Sopranos.
Love The Sopranos.
Oh.
My first watch through. Really
So-
enjoyed it. Yeah, super good.
I like what The Sopranos
Everyone
did
was
for
right.
TV. I don't enjoy The Sopranos.
There's just too many Italians to look at.
Yeah, it's all that greasy hair.
Oh,
I love The Sopranos. I like all the. No, I'm gonna stop. Never mind. I'm leaning in too much. I gotta stop.
Don't get
I-
self-conscious. It's okay.
I gotta stand up for myself. You guys fucking bully me. You push me around. You make me say things that I don't want to say. Fucking
you say them with such ease, though.
make me. Any bad thing I've ever said on this show or something you find objectionable, they edited it with Samantha to cut out the context before, which showed that I did not mean it, and that's not what I was saying, and make it seem like it came from my brain.
what's the quote where it's like the final command of the state is to ignore the evidence of your eyes and ears?
I think that's the quote.
I think that's 1984.
Yeah.
I think the most love would be between Jeffrey and any of us.
Yeah.
I think Jeffrey would be the he would work to please Avery. He would try to coexist with Max, and he would just go to town on my lower half. He would see the opening, he would see where he fit into the woodwork, and he would just press that button endlessly.
They
You know the
say
show
male
Wife's-
nipples don't experience a lot of stimuli. It would not be for lack of trying.
No, absolutely not. Every handle would be cranked. Every knob would be turned.
You know the
Every
show Wife Swap?
explored.
Yeah.
We should do like Jeffrey Swap, where we film just Jeffrey living with each of us and seeing if that's the way it goes. I think that'd be fun. A fun little segment for our show.
I mean, I've stayed with everybody but Max now.
Yeah,
Max,
Max.
Max, who on The Sopranos are you most similar to?
I mean, honestly, none of the crew probably some fucking guy they take advantage of who thinks he's cool. I don't know.
Chrissy? Do you think you're most similar to Chrissy?
No, I think that's what you want me to say, but
I thought that's what you were going to say.
no, I like him as a character. He's also a piece of shit who beats his wife and stuff. He's got a big nose. I got a big nose.
Do you like having a big nose?
I really didn't like it as a kid. Now I've grown into it and I like it.
I think I'm most like Melfi.
I think I'm
Hot as
kind of like the
fuck.
therapist.
That's was that a joke?
I think Avery's like that one woman who's like one of the main.
Wait, was that a joke, Jeffrey?
Was it a joke that I'm like the therapist? Yeah, it
No,
was.
it's Melfi's the therapist.
I was making the
Oh,
third
is
part
it?
of the joke, but nobody heard it. I was saying that Avery was like
Oh.
the female character who was like the professional, but I was going to
Oh.
try to make us all Melfi.
I've never seen the show, so I
No.
didn't know that Melfi was the therapist.
Oh, I thought you were making. That explains why.
I also thought you were making a joke.
Yeah.
I knew.
I mean, I was making a joke because I'm absolutely not like the therapist, but I
It was
didn't
just
realize
not the smart,
it.
intentional.
It wasn't a smart
not-
joke. It was a dumb joke.
Oh, Okay.
It was a joke that I guess nobody cared about unless they wanted to say differently. It was a joke that everybody thought sucked unless. Can we all say banana at the same time?
Banana.
She's
It'd be
the one.
pretty funny to have a bunch of like side girlfriends, but all their names rhyme with your girlfriend's name.
And that's the only requirement.
You're just seeking him out.
Who would be the hardest person? We all have names that are not easy. There's not a lot of rhymes with our names.
Slavery.
Slavery.
Pretty damning. Pretty damning to have that be
Yeah.
their name rhyme.
Yeah. Yeah. Slavery, bravery.
Meffrey.
Mef.
Yep. You know.
Gorgeous girl's name. Meffrey.
I know Mefrey.
You know Meffrey? Is
Yeah.
she nice?
Mefrey. Yeah.
It's the
Wax.
female. It's the girl
You
version.
kind of moved your eyes around in a way that made me not believe it.
I know I've known a Mefrey a while ago.
I guess Jax is a name. Jax. That's a name.
Yeah.
Jax is a name. Yaks is like a thing, but in a way you could date multiple yaks.
Tax.
Tax. Tax.
Wax.
Tax. Axe.
Snacks.
Snacks.
Listeners, comment rhymes with our names. Comment below rhymes with our names.
Gosh. Wash.
Tosh.
Tosh.
Tosh is a good one.
Gosh. Oh my
Tosh is a
God.
good one. So we're
Smosh.
not listing people that we would date. We're listing people that if other people were dating us and exclusively dating other rhyming names that we'd fit into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Max, do you think that your name suits you?
Bravo.
I feel yes, but sometimes when I meet other Maxes, I go like, oh, this is kind of skewing my like but I feel like a Max. I think I'm Max.
Do you not like other Maxes?
Do you ever feel like the other Max? Like you meet a Max and you're like, I'm not the real Max, that's the real Max.
I was once in a group and they had a really good friend named Max, and I had just met the group and he wasn't at the party yet, and they kept saying that what did they keep calling him? They kept calling him like Magic Max is coming. And I went, I'm regular Max, and that's Magic Max.
That's kind of funny.
I
When
felt
he
like
walked through the door, did they all say Max?
I think so. And
Because I, without even knowing the rest of it, that's I can say with a certainty that is a like top 10 worst moment of your life.
I don't like when other people
Finish it.
I don't like when other people are liked in a way I want to be liked more than I am, and I'm in the vicinity or witness it.
Regardless of their name.
Regardless of their name, but it is worse the closer I feel like they are to me. So if they look like me, but they're a more handsome or talented version, or do the same thing, or are funny, and then have my name, not great. The name is definitely secondary because it's more the category of person matters more to me. Like how similar they are if we were putting everyone in a box, and if they are then above me in that box. Because if there's a really like good looking football dude, I go, you know what? Like I have qualities that are in a different genre than him. But if you're the same genre as me, but you are superseding me, that's a night ruiner. I'll go home.
When you are on the train going home after your night's been ruined, what song is your go-to to like get your mojo back and be like, I'm okay?
That's the year that Drake was my top artist because it's all just mind-numbing, dumb, braggy rap. Was anytime I'm feeling depressed, it is the most okay. This is not helping my misogynistic thing. That Rio de Young artist for the past 2 years has been my top artist because it is just the most fuck you, I don't give a fuck, blah blah blah, fuck you shit. And if I'm in a funk, Nothing gets me just, okay, cool, I'm not sad anymore. I'm not tired anymore. When I hear this disrespectful, really aggressive rap.
Is it the disrespect that makes it like a driving force for you to feel good, or is it just the
It's not
pace
me.
of the song?
It's a little bit of both. There's a you can't it can't be truly mean or violent, but there is a vibe to this song is saying things I think is are like, holy fuck, they probably shouldn't say that. That is then making me not care about what's actually happening. Or just it's kind of mind numbing it a little bit, you know? You're kind of like, oh shit, and then you're back in.
Thank you,
Well,
Apple.
it's 1:35 and I've thought about myself a lot in the past hour and a half. Um,
Let's finish it with something funny. Jeffrey.
Yeah, okay. Earlier today, I was teaching, and this is at the outdoor school. And so as I was walking um back from my car, it's like it's been warming up in Minneapolis a little bit. And so there's been a lot of like snow melt and snow drippy kind of things going down. And I get inside the building and I go down to the basement to eat lunch. And I'm watching the snow melt just kind of go off of the deck above onto the ground, but it's like shining. It like almost looks like I'm looking through a sheet of rain. It's happening so like fast and frequent, and it makes me feel like it's weird because the sun's shining through it, and it's nice. It's warm in Minneapolis, but then
Jeffrey would
also
be my least favorite to date. I'm
all
changing it
right. Love you guys. Good night.
now.
Bye.
love you.
I hate you all. I hate
That's
you all.
crazy because we love you.
Yeah, that's nuts. We were all talking about how easy it would be to date you earlier.